The frustrating part is that, like, if you go to the root of it, if you go to the root of St. Valentine's Day,
it was a Christian thing.
It's so beautiful.
Yep.
The fact that he would use bits of paper that were oddly shaped to send encouraging messages to people who were struggling with their faith. That's not what the Valentine's Day cards are all about.
No.
Be mine, like, hello? That is not what he said in his little letter.
So understand that he is part of an old paradigm that was attempting to hold on to the faithful things, but that's not what Valentine's Day is. It's not what the name means. He, as a historic figure, he exists, but he has been emptied of his substance and filled with the spirit of the world. And to try to cling to and recover St. Valentine again, you're trying to save that which is supposed to decrease and pass away.
Right.
Jesus is supposed to increase. St. Valentine needs to decrease.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and that's the slippery, gross part of it all, is that we're starting to see it like in our face done with Christmas too. Yeah. You know, it started with these saint days where God put these faithful people on earth so that the faith could continue forward and so that we could have people to look to as like, oh, look, this is a good example of somebody who follows Christ. So they then point to Christ. But then the demons have taken it and skewed it all up, and the saint is totally gone, and now all we do is worship these hearts. Heart statuary. Idols.
Bad candy.
Hearts.
Bad candy.
What?
Halloween's so much better. Really, it's just bad candy, like through and through. Maybe the chocolate's okay, but otherwise, like, come on. Like, can't we have Sour Patch Kids for Valentine's Day too?
I'm sure they do. Yeah, I'm sure you can find Sour Patch Kids.
It's all a market. It's all a market. So what you had was a plebeian people, a transitory migrational people that came to America over a course of generations, but mostly Anglo, and that they were what we would call like a captured audience, that being here in America, there was a little bit of an open canvas to what the culture was going to be. And most of the people who were here at that time were affiliated with Christianity, either by family or by cultural connection to it. And so in order to sell us stuff, they had to sell us Christian stuff. This goes all the way down to the movies they were making, at MGM. Lord of Lords and all this stuff.
It's like to develop that habit of trust.
But you're a slave people.
Yes.
You've been a slave people the whole time. So now they're bringing in more slave people to replace you slave people who don't have kids and have poor nutrition and are going to die early for various reasons, all sorts of early sudden adult death syndrome and all this. So they're going to bring in more slave people who don't know your language, who are not tied to your religion, and they're going to elevate their new religion more and more because they never really wanted your religion. They wanted their religion, the religion of the world. There's only two. They wanted their religion to triumph. And so what we've seen is they have gutted everything that was what they were using to sell Christian stuff, and they've just refilled it with non-Christian stuff. It isn't even like they care that much about Christianity, although there are some that hate it directly. But by and large, this is just about the bottom line of who the market base is.
Right.
Really, it's what it is. And so recognize, Christian, you're not the market base anymore, though. And if you keep buying what they're selling now, they're going to be giving you something completely different from what you thought you knew or thought you were. And it will change you over time. So this is what you're having to decide now. It's Valentine's Day. Like, what is it? Can I save it? I mean, if you're doing the church calendar all year and you're bringing all the saints out, fine, talk about St. Valentine's Day. But just to keep Valentine and Patrick so we can get our February, March decorations out, it seems a little weird to me. Not that it's wrong to decorate, though. I mean, I don't want to say seasonal decoration's evil. I mean, house cleaning's a good idea and all that. But Again, household gods, it's a fine line. And it's worth it for the Christian to realize that for most people, what they have is a bunch of household gods. And then you can just decide for yourself what like is orthodox, like what's your piety dealing with in your home, but don't pretend that that statue of a My Little Pony isn't a statue of a My Little Pony that for somebody's an idol. Somebody. Right? So, fine, right? What are you going to do with it?
People are starting to identify, like not just starting. We've been doing this for a while, but it's kind of exploding. Like the My Little Pony is actually a thing.
My Little Pony, I mean, cosplaying Star Wars has been going on for 30 years. It's people, they want to be what they
become what they're seeing. And
the Bible says something about idols, those who make them become like them, right?
Oh, yeah.